Group 1 action now, race number 5. This is the first leg of the 6-up as well. It is the Stewards Cup, 1,600 metres the trip, 7 go to post, headed by Beauty Generation. The blinkers off, cheek pieces on for the first time, 3rd in the mile on International Day. Rattan go for the cheek pieces as well. Comes up in trip, he was running the sprint on International Day. Waikuku, 2nd in the mile, 1 place ahead of Beauty Generation. Southern Legend drops back in trip, he was down the field at Happy Valley last time out. Fiore comes off International Day, finishing 4th in the Cup behind Windbright. Citron Spirit was 6th in the mile behind Admire Mars, and Kaying Star beat One Home on International Day. He was 9th for the 10, has since been behind Golden 60. Speed map we'll come to in a second, Graham, with Citron Spirit being the horse that's been up at Chung Farm. Normally we'd just automatically say Beauty Generation in front, but it's not the case these days.
Well, it's Kaying Star is the fly in the ointment. He and Beauty Generation have led the parade 4 times this season. You have to think that it's going to pan out that way again. Don't think the pace will be frenetic. Waikuku is interesting. It's not a big field, but once again, he's drawn out wide, and you have to think that Joe will ride Waikuku patiently.
Here is Beauty Generation. Now, they're playing with the gear, so the blinkers come off, and he's got those white cheek pieces on, you can see there. He seems to be galloping nicely. No problems with him whatsoever. Barrier 1 for him. He has got Kaying Star on the outside as we said. Waikuku, now he works nicely here this morning as well. He's just working with Full of Beauty, who we'll see later on. He's the one in the back. But Waikuku, no problems with him either. He's come out of HKIR very well, and he's had plenty of work. He's a fit horse. And we're going here up at Chungfai, have a look at Citron Spirit. He runs the odd race. He sort of catches the eye, finishing off. Sylvester de Souza aboard, and he goes nicely in his track work as well. Yeah, he's a lovely horse, isn't he? Citron Spirit's over $11 million in prize money. We'll see what he can do here. We're going to start off, though, with the defending champ, and that's Beauty Generation and jockey Zach Purton.
Zach, Beauty Generation, we know how good he is. He's won 7 Group 1s, he won 10 in a row. Has he still got it?
I hope so. We don't go to the races confident anymore. We go to the races hoping that he can reproduce his best. He's not far off them, and he hasn't been trying his best. He hasn't been having a crack. He's just been pulling himself up and not been too interested. So he's just got to want to do it again, find that hunger, and if he can, we know he's capable.
You've made a gear change, you and John. Cheek pieces go on, blinkers go off for the first time ever here in Hong Kong. Was that something you suggested?
No, that's something that John came up with on his own. So, you know, these older horses, sometimes a little bit of a gear change can spark them up a little bit, and let's hope that that does it.
Did he feel like he was better in that barrier trial that you rode him in recently?
He never trials well on the dirt. He's always been a little bit lazy on there. He just doesn't seem to pick up as well. So his finishing position is not something that worries me. It's more so his attitude and how we went through the trial, and I thought he went through it quite nicely. And the bit I liked the most was towards the line. He grabbed the bit and wanted to work to the line. He hasn't done that for a while. Hopefully he takes that to the races.
Gate 1, is there a concern that you could be boxed in?
Yeah, it's not an ideal gate for him, especially with a #1 pest in the race, but we'll just have to work that out.
You take on Waikuku, who's beaten you at the last 3 starts, finished ahead of you. Is he the main danger? Is it a 2-horse race when you look at it?
It appears to be. Waikuku does have the race at his mercy. The way he's been going, he's going to be hard to beat.
He's the favourite at this stage, and it's definitely been a switch now. Waikuku comes in as the #1 seed, doesn't he?
Listen to the language of the men who took Beauty Generation to the summit. John Moore says he's diminished. Zach Purton says that one of the most devastating front runners we've ever seen. He's not really trying as hard as he used to. So the alarm bells are ringing, but he doesn't have too much to find with Waikuku and company. But as Edward touched on there, Paul, he's been behind Waikuku not once, not twice, but all the last 3. Yeah,
that looks like the problem. He's doing what sort of gets me into trouble a bit too. He's thinking too much, isn't he, by the sound of things, Beauty Generation. So, yeah, he's getting on a bit. What's he, 7-year-old now? I'd love to see him back. My heart would like to see him win, but my head says Waikuku will beat him.
All right. He's got $90 million banked so far,
bad.
Beauty Generation. He's not far off the 100. Just shy of $6 million for the winner on this occasion. Now we see Waikuku beating Beauty Generation, Citron Spirit and Kaying Star.
Stop the camera there and you think he's about to let rip. I certainly thought so. But the plain fact is that he didn't, and Waikuku, having drawn outside and come a long way home, runs past him pretty readily at level weights. Admire Mars for Japan beats the 2 of them, but it's hard to look at that video, Paul, and think that the form's going to be reversed tomorrow.
Yeah, the way they both hit the line, didn't they? Waikuku, he's 2 years younger, and he's on the rise up, and Beauty Generation, as we say, they're hopeful. They're trying the gear change.
Yeah, a different battle tackle has to have a dramatic effect, doesn't it?
It does indeed. This is International Day as well, and Fiore finishing fourth here behind Winbright, finishes off really strongly.
Yeah, he's back to 1600. He's been freshened up, but he's only had 2 goes here in Hong Kong over the 1600, and he's won one of them. So the distance, I think, is not too bad for him. Look, I've got him on the third line behind the two heavyweights here.
Yeah, I think he'll be placed for sure. He beat Waikuku in the Derby last year. He won the Classic Mile, so I don't think we should have too many worries about the trip. My question is, has he progressed quite as much as Waikuku since last time they met?
Yeah, they were definitely equals last season in their 4-year-old campaign. Rattan, he brings a different form line in. Clearly wasn't at his best on International Day in the sprint, but he's a 3-time winner over the mile.
You know, look, he's had 3 runs this season, and I thought he'd been a little bit below par. The blinkers come off him, so they're trying the cheek pieces back on Rattan. We know he's got a really good turn of foot at the end. This trial was okay, but it's whether I'd like to see it first.
I think he might pick up a small piece here, in that he's going to be ridden cold, and I think he does have the stamina for this trip. I think he's a potential 3rd or 4th place player.
All right, that's Rattan. It was noted that Richard Gibson took this route definitively over going for the sprint. Odds on then, Waikuku, 2's on, Paul.
Yeah, I've got him on top to beat Beauty Generation. Love to see it the other way round, but I just think Waikuku's got the better of him at the moment. So 3 to beat the 1, Fiore in for 3rd. I threw Kaying Star in because he can be a hard horse to get past sometimes, Kaying Star, and he does fight on. I mean, the obvious quinine for me is 1 and 3.
It is. I'm going to keep it even simpler than that. Straight win with Waikuku. He's not spectacular, but his improvement has been steady and relentless, and it looks, sad to say for Beauty Generation fans, like the crown is about to be handed over.
Same 4 numbers as you, Graham. Same order as well, 3, 1, 5 and 2. But I think we'd all, and you know, racing neutrals, maybe, we would love to see him up off the canvas.
There's nothing more seductive than a champ who gets beaten and bounces back. But as we said at the start, even the 2 guys who've taken him to the summit seem to be losing a little faith now.
All right, all the great Hollywood stories need a comeback, don't they? All right, that's the Stewards Cup race number 5.